topic for today is environmental refugees in Maldives. So first, what are environmental refugees? First, let's look into the term environmental. So according to dictionary.com, it means the social and cultural forces that shape the life of a person or a population. Then next, we have refugees. According to dictionary.com, it's a person who flees for refuge or safety. Together we have environmental refugees. According to United Nations Environment Program, they define environmental refugees as people who have been forced to leave their traditional habitat temporarily or permanently because of a marked environmental disruption that jeopardizes their existence and quality of life. So there are three types of environmental refugees. First, we have the emergency refugees who flee temporarily. Next, we have the forced refugees who must leave due to harsh environmental conditions. Lastly, we have the environmentally induced economic refugees who choose to leave due to personal reasons, normally to avoid future troubles or for economic stability. So there is an estimated amount of 50 million environmental refugees worldwide. This number only seems to rapidly multiply as time passes, where droughts, water shortages, and drastic weather will severely increase because of global climate change and desertification as a whole. There is a principle called the non-refoulement principle, which is a right that was stated in the 1951 Convention to protect environmental refugees being sent back to their home country in which they would encounter dangerous and life-threatening danger upon return. So when it comes to protection, environmental refugees do not have the same rights as refugees from political upheavals such as war. This is as even if environmental refugees have crossed the international border, they are not seen as refugees until it's proven that they are persecuted for a reason stated in the convention. So a lot of the governments, they just do not want environmental refugees. They just say, sorry, we're full. But then they're actually reluctant to protect these environmental refugees as it takes a long duration of time for the reconstruction of a city after a natural disaster. Though, luckily for Maldives, they do not have to suffer this case because of their president's preparation beforehand. Though Maldives is threatened by the events of rising sea levels, which will cause a major increase of environmental refugees because of the changes in the economy and mainly habitat. So Maldives are now forced to migrate and seek new jobs since their two leading economic industries will come to a fall due to climate change. So of their economic industry is tourism and fishing. So tourism takes up 25% of the Maldivian economy, and as the island is sinking underwater, tourism in Maldives will result in a decrease as the government is unable to support many tourist facilities. While fishing is Maldives' second largest industry, in which takes up 20% of Maldives' economy. Though the increased amount of fresh water in the marine ecosystem due to the melting of polar ice caps is threatening fisheries around Maldives as most fish are not able to adapt in the less salty water.
The Maldives, paradise on earth. A utopian existence by crystalline sea. This is life in balance, as nature intended. But in a blink of an eye, this could all disappear.
So first off, what will be affected? First, we have land, beach, and human settlements. And next, we have all infrastructures, which includes airports, hotels, schools.
Half of Ilyas's house has been washed away. This used to be my bedroom, he says. What am I going to do?
And then next, we have Maldives economy, tourism, and fishing. Then next, we have water resources. Next, we have food and water security, hamburgers, we need them. And then next, human health. So movements of large populations will result as a threat to international peace and security, which means if the whole population of Maldives has to cross international borders due to inundation, will raise a lot of conflicts. So how and why is Maldives affected? So Maldives' geographical and economic characteristics make Maldives the most vulnerable sovereign state. The reasons are because their geographical location is prone to natural disaster. In terms of its economic aspects, they have poorly developed infrastructures, limited resources, and is economically dependent on others. So next we have human activities. So human activity and productivity of these activities is the largest contributor to greenhouse gases, in which causes climate change, in which results of rising sea levels and storm surges. So what will the government do? First, let's look at President Mohammad Nasheed's clip on his interview about this issue.
Large unoccupied country. So the idea is that if they are taking out an insurance policy against climate change that might turn them into environmental.
Basically, the idea that President Mohammad Nasheed had was to move Maldives to another place, preferably to somewhere that has similar cultural beliefs, like Sri Lanka or India. He said that he didn't want his people living in tents for years or decades as refugees. So therefore, he had a discussion with the Australian government of the possibility of migration assistance to its land, and therefore it worked. So unlike other islands like Tuvalu and Kiribati, Maldives has done a better approach to this issue. That's all. Bye!